Tomatoes were mine. We played hide and seek for hours, raised our shadows among the pines. So offshore, playful and free.
Friends, welcome back to the homestead. If you're new here, my name is Lynn. Welcome. And if you've been here before, so happy you came back. Today, I am going to be out of the house all day. So, slow cooker to the rescue for supper tonight. It's still early, as you can see. I just I still have my towel on my head, but I want to get this started. I haven't even had tea, nothing yet. It's starting to lighten up. But yeah, I'm going to be gone pretty much all day today. So, I'm going to be making turkey chili. It is one of our favorites, and I'll get 3 jars of kidney beans off my shelf and the very last can of diced tomatoes. I got to get those tomatoes in my freezer freeze-dried. I've got to do it. Maybe tomorrow. I'll see. It's a little bit of a busy week. Not just today, but the whole week's a little busy. So normally that's not normal for us, but it occasionally happens. And we're always busy here. We're just not usually busy outside the house, and that's what it's going to be today. So I do have over on the stove my turkey, ground turkey, frying up. Oh boy, those are not going to come out without some help. Okay. All right, let me get a spoon. There we go. Canning my own kidney beans is one of the things I started doing last year, when my goal last year was if I don't make it, we don't eat it. And we did really, really well until we traveled to help my mother move. And then I seemed to get out of the habit, which was in late September, early October. So I really got to get back into it. But I canned a lot of these, so we are good on kidney beans for a while. And one more jar. And I make a lot because I either freeze dry it or I freeze it in smaller containers, and David just grabs it in the morning. By the time he has lunch at work, it's thawed out. And he just heats it up at work, so. Okay. Some of the beans are a little bit mush. That's a little disappointing, but for the most part they held their shape. Okay, and then this is my secret, not very secret, McCormick chili seasoning. I get this in the States. My mom either mails it to me or I pick up a bunch of it when we're there. I have even made my own, but I like this one. This is the one we seem to prefer. Okay, and the ground turkey is done. When I come home tonight, if I can, I would like to make some cornbread too to go with this. So we will see how it goes. Like when I say all day, like literally heading out in just a little bit and gone until after 3. Okay. Almost. There we go. And I'm gonna fill up this can with halfway with some water. Okay, I'm gonna put this on low. Lock it. Select 10 hours. There. And that's supper for tonight. And like I said, if I we'll see how I feel when I come home. I meant to do the cornbread yesterday and just didn't get to it. So, okay, we'll see you back here later for supper tonight. Oh, did I mention it's day 13? No. Yes. What's the date today, Grace? Yes, today is day 13. I don't know what day it is anymore. I am back for my busy day. It is, the lighting in here is terrible. Decided not to make the cornbread because I'm just beat, and I go live on my other YouTube channel in just a little bit. So I did take some cheese out of the freezer. We're gonna scoop it up, and that will be supper for day 12. I might be going out again tomorrow evening to another crochet group, and thank goodness tomorrow is Wednesday, which means breakfast. I got a couple ideas for tomorrow night I'm thinking about trying, so we'll see you back here tomorrow for day 13 of the Pantry Challenge. And it's breakfast for supper because it is a Wednesday. And I seem to be on Groundhog Day here on repeat, but we are in for a doozy of a storm tonight. We're supposed to get walloped with over a foot of snow. So we'll see if that really happens. I've been telling everyone it has been a good 5-6 years since we have had a true winter here in Eastern Ontario. Almost just about anywhere, honestly. Even down home down east they haven't. So we were due, and it's letting us know. Yep, I was right. So anyway, making something I haven't made in a while. I don't know why I don't make it that often. We enjoy it. I just don't seem to make it that often, and that is a Dutch baby. This recipe is specifically for 2 to 4 people. I know you can make much bigger ones, but it's only 2 of us eating, so this is perfect. The bacon, which David is just... Say hi, hun.
Hello.
He's taking the bacon out of the oven, so we do have a protein to go with this tonight. The bacon is what came out of the freezer. That's it for tonight, but I'm getting one can of strawberry syrup that I made and canned up, and some of my freeze-dried strawberries. It's the first time I'm really using the freeze-dried strawberries since we freeze-dried them. So not as much freezer tonight, but we're, taking things from the shelves too. This batter has to sit for 20 minutes, so we're gonna get started on that, and while that sits, I'm going to go over and heat up the syrup, and we're gonna add the strawberries to the syrup so they'll rehydrate, and then we'll be ready to eat. Oh, the oven is on 425. We have to get a 9-inch skillet, actually, or I'm using my 9-inch cast iron. I'm gonna get that into the oven and have that heating up, because we're gonna pour the batter into the screaming hot pan and then throw it back in the oven. So, half a cup of all-purpose flour is going into my blender. 2 tablespoons, yes, 2 tablespoons of organic cane sugar. And in this here, I have half a cup of milk, 2 large eggs, and a splash of vanilla. And that's it. We're gonna blend this up, and then like I said, it will sit for 20 minutes, and then we'll go work on our topping. Okay, while that sits, I do have a half pint of strawberry syrup that I made last summer. I think we made it together. I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, I don't have the greatest memory, but I'm gonna put that into the pot. Sorry, I was trying to think what I was doing. And here is freeze-dried strawberries. I'm going to add a few to it, and they will just rehydrate in that. And we're gonna warm it up. I might add a little bit of water, so, to this pot too. Half a jar. That way it gets out all the strawberry syrup, and we are gonna stir this up. So this is already sweetened everything. This primarily was for lemonade, but it's also, a topping for just about anything. Ice cream, pancakes, obviously waffles, yogurt, anything you want to top that with. Okay, I'm going to set this on low and just let it heat up. And we've got a few more minutes for the batter to sit, and it gives it time for the cast iron pan to also heat up. You will be needing a little bit of butter too. We are ready to take the skillet out. Ooh, definitely hot. Ooh. Add my 2 tablespoons of butter. Melting. I'm gonna pour the batter in, and it's 425, and we're gonna bake it for 15 to 20 minutes. as long as the recipe said. A little brown, but I think with lots of syrup, it'll be fine. Strawberry smell is amazing. We're just gonna take a quick bite just because I wanna see how those freeze-dried strawberries did. I can't believe those were freeze-dried. The texture's amazing. It tastes just like, they're a little less mushy than frozen, but a little bit softer than fresh, if that makes sense, but that is amazing. I'd heard great things about freeze-dried strawberries, and I've ate freeze-dried strawberries, but I've never done it myself, and that is amazing. That syrup is so good. That is so yummy. Not too sweet. Won't need any maple syrup, though. It's just sweet enough. Okay. There's our supper for day 14. It's yummy, and it's going to be very filling. Add some bacon to this, and we're good to go. See you here tomorrow for day 15. Day 15 of the Pantry Challenge, and we are in Snowmageddon. Here, we have gotten how much snow already? Over a foot?
Easy, yeah.
Like easily over a foot of snow. It started snowing around midnight last night and has not stopped. And according to the weather, we have possibly another 3 hours. It's crazy. I'll show you in a minute what it looks like. I should have took a before picture because yesterday we could see grass. There was hardly any snow left because we'd had a lot of rain and mild temperatures. Wait till you see what our backyard looks like. But tonight we are going into the freezer again, and I found a big container of cheese tortellini that we had. That's our last pack. You buy them in a 3-pack at Costco. Grace even loves these, so she will be eating this supper tonight. Aiden is helping me with the freezer clean out. Say hi, Aiden.
So,
He is, what are you cooking in the air fryer that you found? Some of his chicken strips and some French fries, so whatever they are, yeah. So we're getting through those in the freezer. And I don't really feel like a tomato sauce kind of thing tonight. And it's not just because I haven't gotten to the tomatoes to freeze dry. I promise, I just don't feel like it. I'm gonna do a cheese sauce, and I'm literally just gonna make it up. I had some cheddar cheese in the freezer, and we had a little bit of Parmesan left. And that's what we're gonna have for supper tonight. And I think it's gonna be good. So, I got my water boiling. We're gonna go ahead and boil the tortellini, drain them, and then I'll just make up the cheese sauce, and that will be our supper tonight. While the water's boiling for the pasta, this is what we're dealing with today. So, to show the pile up here on our deck boxes and on the railing to our deck, the birdhouse has actually been cleaned off a couple of times, poor birds. So yesterday we could see all the grass, we could actually see mud. It was an actually muddy mess out here. And this is what we have now. I knew this winter was gonna be bad for snow. It's crazy how much we have. And there's supper for the 15th day of the Pantry Challenge. True Pantry Challenge. Just digging things out of my fridge and freezer, but... So it's Friday night, which is pizza night, which I was actually not going to do pizza tonight because I think we're a little pizza out, but I could not think of anything else. And it's been a bit of a day. And it's cold here. Oh my gosh, is it cold. We got Snowmageddon yesterday and the tundra today. So I just took one of the frozen doughs I had in the freezer from the last, because my recipe makes 2 and I always freeze 1. So that is, I think this is the one from last week, so that's the one we like the best. I also took some sausage out of the freezer, and I rehydrated some bell peppers that I had freeze dried. So that is a container, and that pretty much, it's almost empty. We have a little bit of peppers left, that's almost done. Sorry, they were dehydrated. Then I'll be working on the frozen and freeze-dried peppers. But that's some more things out of the freezer, including a pizza dough. Oh, and cheese. So I got a lot of stuff out of the freezer tonight for supper. So that's it for day 16. Yes, day 16. We'll see you here tomorrow for day 17. Morning of day 16, and we're getting more snow. Boy, I warned my husband. I told David, you got to get the plow fixed on that four-wheeler because I have a bad feeling about this winter, and I was right. So it's so pretty right now. It's coming down in big fat flakes. Oh, it stopped for now, but it's supposed to be like this off and on all day. So it's warmed up though, majorly. So that's kind of nice. So I just thought a nice crock pot meal for tonight would be good. I've got a little bit of busy day. I've got some things I have to do. And yeah, so we're gonna get it started. And I was just looking at the pantry thinking, what do I need to start using up? And one of the things I need to start using up is salsa. I'm the only one who eats salsa on everything or just as a snack with some chips. And I have a lot because this recipe ended up making quadruple what it said it was going to. So I made this in 24, still going through it all. There's so many jars, little jars, this size jar, so many. I'm like, what do I have salsa? Well, we have a bunch of chicken breast. I'm gonna put them all into a crock pot together with some taco seasoning, let them slow cook the rest of the day, shred them. And I also have some tortilla wraps that we need to use up, and that's what we're gonna do tonight. We're gonna do like some kind of chicken fajita, add some cheese, and that's probably gonna be it for supper, and I'm actually looking forward to it. So in my slow cooker here, I have 4 chicken breasts, boneless chicken breasts. I remember to take them out last night, so they're completely thawed. And I'm going to add this whole jar of salsa on top. In, and I'm going to sprinkle in probably 1 to 2 tablespoons of my homemade taco seasoning, and I am going to spread that around a little bit. I'm just going to kind of stir up the seasoning a bit, make sure all the chicken's coated with that salsa. Okay, I'm going to put it on low. And there, supper started for tonight. I also want to make a little healthy-ish snack, and we'll get to those in a little bit because Grace wanted to help with them. But supper has started. Okay, the chicken has been cooking all day. It smells amazing. I did take a couple of forks about an hour ago, shred it, and just let it cook a little while longer, just to kind of cook up more of the juices. Earlier today, Grace actually made the no-bake cookies, and she's not comfortable being filmed, and I have no issue with that. So I'm just showing you here the finished product. We've actually had one. They were delicious. She did a great job. I will link the recipe down below. We have been making these for, oh my goodness, Grace, 12, 13 years? We've been using this recipe. I think we were in Nova Scotia actually. We've had this recipe a long time. It's by Chocolate Covered Katie. We like a lot of her recipes. They tend to be healthier treats versus maybe non-healthy. And yeah, the only thing in these was, we did use cane sugar this time. Usually we used to do maple syrup in the past, but we just find they don't set up as nice. So Grace did use some organic cane sugar this time. Next time we're gonna try coconut sugar because 1, I have a ton of it, and 2, that's even healthier. So yeah, so we have a nice little treat for the rest of the weekend. So I'm just gonna show you what the chicken looks like now. As you can see, I shredded it all, and quite a bit of the liquid is gone. Not as much as I would like, but quite a bit. So they're tortillas that we need to use up. And oh, I have to get the cheese out. I'm just gonna scoop it out with my slotted spoon so we can get as much liquid off. So we don't want these soaking wet. And then I'm gonna sprinkle these with some cheddar cheese and put them in the oven just until the cheese melts and the tortillas get a little bit brown. And that is supper tonight, and it smells amazing. I'm really looking forward to trying this. And here's a little secret. I need to do meal planning for next week. I have nothing planned for tomorrow. Sunday is the start of a new week. It's still part of this filming for this week because we go until Monday night. But I got to figure out what we're going to do. Oh no, I did figure out what we're having tomorrow night. I don't know what we're having the rest of the week. And I think next week we're going to focus more on the pantry and long-term storage versus the freezer. loaded tomatoes in the freeze dryer. That's the first of 5 trays, and I have 3 more trays of tomatoes and with 2 trays with peppers in the freezer right now for the next load. That's all the cut up tomatoes. The rest are whole that I need to deal with. But it started. See what we think of my open a jar and dump it in the crock pot meal. All right. I will say it's a little soggy on one side. I really drained off all the juices, but the chicken itself was quite wet. So
Okay.
I think that's the best fajita I've ever made.
Okay.
I am not kidding. That is really good. In past, I've always just cut up chicken breast, threw some taco seasoning, and cooked it up on the stove, but it's moist. It's very flavorful. Okay, we discovered, this is why I love the Pantry Challenge. We discovered a new way to make fajitas that not only is easy, but it's quite delicious. And there's plenty there for lunch or later in the week for another supper. So cheers. We're over halfway through this month, friends. We're getting there. 18, sunny, look at that. The sun, I almost forgot what it looked like. It is cold. We warmed right up yesterday. The weather has just been wonky. It was so mild. It was freezing cold, mild, freezing cold, mild, really mild. We get up to like 50 degrees. Freezing cold for a couple of days, mild yesterday, and really cold again today. So yeah, it's cold. It is cold, it's cold, it's cold. But the sun is out, so I'm happy. I am going to make some bread. It's morning. Supper tonight is actually going to be leftover chili, and I'm going to make cornbread. And I have the cutest little cornbread pan to share with you all that I'm going to make it in. It is so much fun, but that will be later today. But we are completely out of bread. And I tried a new bread recipe last week. I didn't share it with you then because we wanted to try it. Loved it. It was delicious. It's not fresh milled, so I'm just going to be using my good old organic all-purpose for now. Eventually, I want to try converting this recipe into some fresh milled, but for now, I'm just going to use this. It turned out so good, and it was so easy. That's what I loved about it. It is from Sally's Baking Addiction, I think it's called. Yes. I will share the links down below, but it was delicious. So we're going to get started on it because we are going to run to the store. We need just a couple little things. I did go to Walmart with the kids on Thursday, and I did pick up 2 bottles of olive oil because they were on sale, and a block of cheese and 2 packs of sliced cheese that David was just jonesing for, some Swiss and some marble cheddar to make like grilled cheese sandwiches or just to have as a snack. You know, we're trying to be better with our eating habits, and you know, cheese is a heck of a lot better snack than anything else, and honestly there's nothing else in the house unless I make it. Thank goodness for Grace's cookies, because that's giving us a little bit of a sweet treat. But yeah, so we're gonna run out. But yeah, so I got those 2 bottles of olive oil. I did buy Aiden, our son, 3 packages of protein drinks. That cost me a little over 30. I think that was like $33 for 3 packets of them, and the cheese, and that came to almost $80. And I'm like, what did I buy? It didn't even fill half a bag. 3 packs, so we got, and there were 6 in a pack, so 18 protein shakes, 2 1-liter bottles of organic extra virgin olive oil, my favorite brand, 1 block of cheddar cheese, which is ridiculously small now, 400 grams. I remember when that was the small block, which you can't even buy anymore. And 1 pack of Swiss sliced cheese and 1 pack of marble cheddar cheese, and that's it. And that came to almost $80. That is ludicrous. Absolutely insane. And there's just a couple other things that we saw on sale at No Frills, so we're gonna go grab them and then come back. So I'm gonna get the bread going now, while David's finishing getting ready so it can rise while we're gone. Jodine mixer here, and I am adding 1 cup of warm water, 43 degrees Celsius, 110 roughly Fahrenheit. And I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of milk. 1/4 cup of milk. And 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast. One, 2, 1/4. And 2 tablespoons of sugar. 1 and 2. Cover it and let this sit for about 5 minutes or so to let that yeast start blooming. That's been sitting and it's puffed up quite a bit, the yeast. So we're going to add a 1/4 cup of softened. I am using salted butter. So I won't be adding any salt to the recipe, but if you do use unsalted butter, this is when you would add, how much? 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt. Okay, so there is our salt, and to that we're going, or butter, we're going to add 1 cup of, 1 leveled cup of flour. And we're going to let this go for a few seconds. Okay. We're going to add another cup of butter. Or I think I said butter. Another cup of flour. Yeah, been one of those mornings. Okay. And then we're going to add the rest of our flour, which is one more whole cup and a 1/3 cup. Okay, and we're going to mix this. Probably going to take about 2 minutes. It was about 2 minutes, and I'm just gonna scrape my bowl. And now we're gonna let this go for 5 to 8 minutes until it forms a nice ball. And basically, it all comes away from the sides of the bowl and everything. That was about 6 minutes. It looks really good. The bowl is mostly clean around the edges, so I'm just gonna get this off my blade here. I am going to transfer this to a greased bowl, and we're going to let it have its first rise while we run out and do our errands. And I had to laugh. Grace reminded me, it was not Thursday we went out to get a few groceries. Kids mostly needed to go, and I just went for the couple of sale items I saw, because Thursday was our big snowstorm, and I'm like, oh, that's right. So yeah, we did not go anywhere Thursday. Okay. So, oh yeah, that feels perfect. Yep, that feels exactly the way I want. So I'm going to form it into a ball here. Get any little pieces. And I'm intimate, this only makes 1 loaf. The recipe says specifically, do not double it. And I believe that because I find I don't always have the greatest success when I double dough. Usually pie crust dough, but that feels amazing. So it's not sticky at all, but it's not dry. And I'm gonna put it in my very large bowl here. Cover that with plastic wrap, and we're gonna let this rise till it's double, 1 to 2 hours. It took me about 2 hours last week, so it's been about 2 hours. It definitely doubled. So we're gonna go ahead to the next step. Now, this is where I'm deviating a little bit from the first time I made it. The recipe calls for you to roll this out into I think it's 8 by 15, and yet use a 9 by 5 loaf pan, which is what I used this last time. This is the one I used. And even tucking under the ends and putting it in here, it was still just a tad too long, and I had like a dip in my dough, in my bread. So I'm actually gonna go with my bigger sandwich loaf, because I also kind of want this shape for sandwiches or toast this week. So we're gonna try it. It may be wrong, but we're gonna try it. So I do have that all buttered, and my oven is preheated to 350 degrees, even though we still have about an hour, but I'm gonna put this on top of the stove to keep warm. So, all right, we punch that down. Just a little bit of flour on my table here, and we are gonna, oh, but I forgot to put some on the roller. Roll this out to 8 by 15. Perfect. And we are just about an inch off, so we need to go a little bit this way and a little bit this way. Scooch in, and there we go. There's our 8 by 15. And then we're gonna shape it. So we're gonna roll it here. Oh, this dough feels great. I'm very happy with it. Try to make sure it's even thickness. All right, we're gonna see. Even I think the size that they tell you is wrong, because this is much better. That fit in there. Even this is a little long for this one, because this is a 12 by 8. I think it is. No, 12 by. I can't remember now what it was. 12 by 6. Okay, so that's in there. We're gonna cover, and this is gonna rise. Again, this one we're gonna do for about an hour, or until hopefully we can get the dough above the rim here, about an inch above the rim. Getting ready to make the cornbread, but our sandwich bread just came out. Is that not beautiful? I'm so happy I used this loaf. So that went in the oven, 350 for 30 minutes. And I did a temperature test just on the side, and it's the exact temperature. So we're just gonna let that rest in this while we get started on the cornbread. This is the cornbread muffin pan I'm going to use. We picked this up on one of our date days going out flea marketing and antiquing and stuff. I love this. I wish I could find another one. I'm gonna be on the hunt, because I do have to. This makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 just seems weird. And my recipe, I think it makes 12 or 14, so I have to take it out, pop them out, do another batch, but it's not that big a deal. But so my oven is 450. I'm actually going to get this heating up in the oven, take it out, and I have got little pats of butter over on the stove, and I'm just going to put one each and spread them around a little bit so they're greased up, and then we're going to get started on mixing the cornbread. As I said, this recipe is a cornbread muffin recipe, and I'm changing it just a little bit. They use a lot of sugar and honey, and that's my oven heating up. I'm just going to use the honey. I'm not even going to use the sugar. So in a large bowl, we need 1 1/4 cups of yellow cornmeal. And then we're going to need 1 cup of all-purpose flour. 2 teaspoons of baking powder. I could only find my ½ teaspoon, so we need 2 teaspoons. 2. My battery died. We need to add salt now. Oh, actually no, because I'm using salted butter, so I'm not going to add salt. And we're just going to give this a mix. And we're going to make a little well. We're going to add melted butter. So we have ½ cup of salted melted butter. That's cooled for a couple of minutes. An egg, 3/4 cups of milk, and the recipe calls for a 1/3 cup of sugar and then 3 tablespoons of honey. I'm just going to do not quite a 1/3 cup of honey. I'm going Mix that all together and that's it. Alright, my muffin pan is hot. I just took it out. I'm just going to put a little pat of butter. 2 of these, I guess, per one. I got my rhythm, so it's 1 and not quite half of another scoop, and then I take my knife and I just spread them around in there. So these are going to go in the oven for 10, probably not even 10 minutes. They cook a lot quicker than they do in a muffin pan. I'll probably put them in for 7 and then check on them. The bread out of the pan. Oh my goodness, it looks amazing, smells amazing. Definitely gonna make some more if I have the energy this week and freeze it, but oh my goodness, this looks amazing. Here's our supper for tonight. I've just been warming it up in the crock pot all afternoon, and here is our cornbreads. These freeze great too, so I will be freezing the majority of them. Dave and I'll probably only eat 1 or 2 with our supper, but they're really, really good and they freeze great, and then we'll have some for later. So 19 and the last meal for this week's videos. We start all new week tomorrow and it's one of our favorites. We're going to be doing loaded nachos. I'm not showing you every single step because it's, you know, frying hamburger, heating up milk to add cheese to melt it, to spread the cheese on or whatever. I'll show you when I build them, but each individual step we're just going to skip. But I do have some of our favorite que pasa round tortilla chips here on my baking sheet. And I have rehydrated some purple onion and that were freeze dried, and the rest of my dehydrated bell peppers. That's it, they're done. Now all I have is freeze dried and some frozen, which I'm slowly freeze drying. But I froze them because I wasn't sure if we were gonna like them freeze dried, and I love them. They are so much more convenient. Anyway, I have those all rehydrated, getting ready to go. I took out a little container of guacamole I still had in my freezer I need to get through. So I got through that, and we took some cheese out of the freezer, and yeah, we got a lot of things. My plan for the next set of videos I'm going to share with all you for the Pantry Challenge is start focusing more on the pantry. I did a quick look through here just a few minutes ago, and there are so many things. We have freeze-dried yellow beans. We have a lot of freeze-dried fruit. I also have a lot of frozen fruit and things. So we're getting through it. We're getting through it. So I'm just going to finish cooking up everything, assemble these. We'll put them in the oven. And yeah, we're going to be eating good tonight. We're going through a lot of cheese this week, I realized, when I was going through all the meals. Obviously, we like cheese in this house. I also forgot, for a special treat tonight for dessert, I did take out oatmeal pie cookies. Is that what they are? Oatmeal pie cookies, yeah. That I made several months ago trying to copycat Little Debbie's oatmeal sandwich. So we still have a pack of 2 left. So I took them out. There's 1 for each of us here. So we're going to get these gone too, because these have been in the freezer a few months and I want those out of there. Are finishing up in the oven. Let's do a quick recap. This week we used 3 jars of kidney beans, a packet of ground turkey, and a package of cheese. So 2 things from the freezer, 3 things from the pantry shelf. We used some freeze-dried strawberries, a whole pint of strawberry syrup, and I think that was it, okay. We used a packet of cheese tortellini from the freezer, a packet of french fries, and some chicken strips. That was Aiden. We also used a packet of ground sausage, some peppers that came from the pantry, and cheese from the freezer. 4 chicken breasts from the freezer, a jar of salsa. I think that was a pint we used. So it was a half a pint of strawberry syrup that we used. And some wraps that we needed to use up. another 2 packs of cheese, a little pack of guacamole from the freezer, a package of ground beef from the freezer, and the rest of my dehydrated bell peppers and a little bit of freeze-dried onions. So we did great this week. We got through a lot of things, and like I said, going forward, we're gonna start looking at the pantry because I noticed a lot of things over there. And tomorrow starts a new week, day 20 of the pantry challenge. We're getting there, though I have to say it feels like it should be February already. And we're going to try a couple of new recipes this week, including tomorrow. So they're ready to come out of the oven. We're ready to eat. And that will wrap up 13 through 19 of the Three Rivers Homestead Pantry Challenge. Thank you so much for being here. How are you all doing? Are you still hanging in there? We're doing pretty good. I think altogether, I already told you what we spent on groceries this week, and that was it. I am so proud of me. I didn't go down any other aisles. I didn't get any. We just made do with what we had. So, which is the whole point. So until then, friends, take care, God bless, and we'll see y'all soon.